Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is Wednesday live session day and I am talking about concert prep today. So let me just tag those people who wanted to be tagged. And let's see. I hope everybody has had a good day. Or if you are still in a place where it is light out, then you are having a good day. Right, so concert prep. We are at that time of the year in the UK in November where we're coming up to our Christmas concerts. A lot of studios will be having their Christmas concerts. A lot of people will be coming up towards their exams or auditions perhaps as well. Here in the UK, a lot of people going through into senior schools and things like that will be auditioning for music scholarships or to get into the school that they want. Let me just make sure that I can see if anybody joins me and I can see the comments. Let's just turn that down. So, okay, right. So let's talk a little bit about prepping for these things, because one of the major things that we want, one of the things that I really want for my students, and I know I'm not alone in this and that the majority of my colleagues, particularly in the Suzuki world, but not limited to the Suzuki world at all, a lot of my colleagues want for our students to go into these performance opportunities feeling strong, feeling confident, and that what happens is that the child comes out of these performance opportunities feeling like they want to do it again, that they feel confident on the stage or in the exam room, that they knew what they were doing, and that this should lead into a student who is more comfortable in other exam settings, interview settings, public speaking, all of these things. What we're trying to build is life skills, right? As well as obviously being able to perform musically. So it's going to be really important when we're practicing at home that we're prepping the correct way. So one of the things I wanted to talk about first of all is that almost every concert I have a little battle with a parent or two in my studio, and it's never the same ones, because once we've learnt the lesson, they usually remember, and if I'll just remind them, and that's fine. But we forget that it's more important how the child's experience is on stage than what they play. Okay, it is going to be so much more important that your child gets up and plays something that they are really good at playing, that they are really prepared to play, rather than their top piece and impress all of their friends because it's a higher piece than they intended. Okay, if you were to go to, say, the Wigmore Hall or Cadogan Hall or the Royal Albert Hall and you paid to see somebody playing live, it would be much better to hear them play a grade 6 or 7 piece that they played beautifully than to hear them play, say, the Sibelius Violin Concerto and it was played not as well. When we're listening to music in a concert, when we pay for a ticket to go and listen to someone play, we're not paying to listen to them play something really hard. We're paying to hear them play something in a way that makes us feel something, okay? And it's going to be the same lesson that we need to teach our students and our children now, that when we're performing music, it's not the same as going into, say, your maths GCSE, right? When you're performing music on stage, you really want to be showing music, not notes. So I would much rather hear somebody who, say that their top piece is Witch's Dance. I would much rather hear this child play a piece in book 1, right? That is beautifully prepared, that they feel confident playing, that has dynamics and musicality, rather than their top piece Witches Dancing Book 2, which isn't ready yet. Of course, there are going to be those children who thrive at the top end and who will play Witches Dance wonderfully, even though it's their top piece. But the likelihood is that 99% of people will perform better on stage or speak better in front of people with material that they are well versed in, material that they have prepared really, really well, and that they feel ready to show, but they've been playing for a while. I know that I'm going to be much better at delivering this speech to you in English than another language, right? If I need to deliver this speech to you, say in Spanish, I really need to be have been practicing telling you this stuff in Spanish for many, many months, because I don't speak Spanish, or I don't speak Spanish very well, okay? So it's going to be really, really important that when I'm publicly speaking, right, I'm very, very comfortable publicly speaking, but at the moment I'm trying to learn French. And if I've been practicing a lot my French. Having said that, because I don't feel confident, I'm very shy speaking French. I'm very, very, very shy. I can, you know, even if it's a sentence I know that I can put together and I know it's correct and I know that I can pronounce it, I'm going to be very shy and I'm probably not going to say it. That's not how I am in English. That's not my personality, right? Because I'm not confident. So what we want to do is bring out that side of your child, particularly if your child is a sensitive, more reserved person, right? You really need to make sure that they feel 150% on top of it, okay? Hi, by the way, if you're watching, I can see Yinning is watching, I can see Kerry is watching. I can't see who else is watching, but I know there are more people. So do say hi in the comments so that I can see you. It's really nice that you're here. So one of the things that my teacher Miriam Morley used to tell me when I was a teenager, which really stuck with me, was that she would say, look, when you practice at home, whatever you practice at home, you need to expect to lose 20% of that when you show it to me in the lesson. Hi, Uni. Okay, so at whatever level you are playing at home, you're going to come back to the lesson and play at 80%. Okay, whatever level you are, hi Greta, right? Whatever level you are playing at in the lesson, you are going to lose another 20% for concert. Okay, so even if you are practicing at 100%, expect that by the time you get to a concert, you're only probably going to play at 60%. Now, you do get the odd child who doesn't think while they're playing, usually at home, and then on stage will bring out something and we'll all go, didn't know that they could do that. To be honest, I think I was one of those as a kid, and I definitely have a couple of them in my studio, but I would say that they are like, you know, 1 in 20 children who do that, okay? And that only comes out on stage because they've because they've been preparing so well, even if it looks like they're not taking it in. Okay, so Miriam's point was, if you want to play at 100%, right, you need to be practicing it at 150% before you're ready, right? Hi Cara. Before you're ready to play it in concert, your preparation has to be at 150% if you want it to be 100% on stage. Because if you're going to lose 20% for a lesson, you're down to 125, right? And then if you're going to lose another 20%, you're going to be down at 100. That's where you need to be. That's why it's important to play a piece that you are really, really good at. So sometimes coming up to these concerts, I will have a little battle with someone in my studio because they'll say, oh, but we're sure that in a month we could get this piece ready. And I'm like, yes, of course you could get it ready, right? And you could stress yourself out and you could be playing it at 100% in a month's time. And then you've got the opportunity to play it somewhere between 60 and 100% on stage. Or in this month, we could pick a piece that you're already 100% at and get it from 100% to 150%. And then we know it's going to go well on stage. So this is really, really important because there's another saying that amateurs practice until they can't get it, until they get it right, and professionals practice it until they can't get it wrong. And this is something that I think is really important because it's about muscle memory, right? How many times have you done something that you know you can do if you think about it, but if you weren't to think about it, it would go wrong? Okay, so it's going to be important that when you're practicing for a concert, you really, really want your child's muscle memory to be going wrong. So here are the steps. It's not going wrong. You want your muscle memory to be kicking in so that things can't go wrong. Even if someone sneezes in the audience, or the lights go off, or the pianist misses a note, or they get a scratch on their nose or something like that, or they're just nervous, because when you've got adrenaline running through your system, all sorts of things are going to happen to your muscles, right? So here are the steps that I go through the month before a concert. Okay, so our concert is going to be on the 5th of December, so we're really in there now. 4 weeks before the concert, we are looking to really tighten up all of the little corners. So we're looking for practice boxes. We're looking for things that need to be polished. Okay, right? And we're going to do lots of repetitions, and we need to play a lot of games. Okay, a lot of my students are not going to want to do this if I sit there and go, right, you need to do that 10 times. Maybe my teenagers, because they kind of understand, but even my teenagers need me to put, you know, lots of like little toys out, or need me to say, right, here are 5 chocolates, earn them, or whatever it is. Okay, this is the hardest week. 3 weeks before the concert, I want to be starting to get playthroughs as well. So we want to be finding those corners that are going wrong, and you might have new corners right at this point. The things that you fix are fine, and then you play through and you find that something else is going wrong. So I would usually be trying 3 weeks before a concert to be doing a playthrough at the beginning of my practice, finding out where all the bits are, doing my repetitions, and then, you know, practicing anything else I need to practice. And then at the end of the practice, I'll be doing another playthrough. Okay? 2 weeks before the concert, hopefully we're not having so many sticky spots anymore. Now I'm trying to get at least 3 to 4 run-throughs, depending. If you've got, you know, a very short piece, I'd be trying to do more. But if you say, you know, you're in, say, book 3 or 4, and these pieces are kind of taxing and long already, I'm looking for about 3 playthroughs in the practice. Maybe a couple of sticky spots that you need to practice, but hopefully there won't be too many of those. Okay, a lot of listening going in there. And one of the playthroughs should be slow and controlled, so that you can listen to intonation, because we're violins, so we need to listen to intonation, or we're thinking about those techniques, or we're listening to those little things of like the staccatos, the legatos, the phrasing, particularly if you're a pianist and you're thinking about both hands, the breathing if you're a woodwind player, that kind of thing. Okay, and then the week before the concert, there should be very little sticky spots happening. You may still want to do those repetitions, but now we're trying to amp it up, and we're trying to get several repetitions in a row. Okay, so I would be starting with 3. We're trying to get, say I have 3 marbles over here, and we're trying to get them into the other bowl. We're trying to get 3 in a row. So, okay, you play minuet 1 once, it's fantastic, we move it over. We play minuet 1 again, it goes wrong, that one comes back. We're trying to get 3 in a row, okay? And if 3 in a row is easy, tomorrow we're upping it to 4. Okay, if it's not easy, you've got a lot of repetitions to work on. You need to find out which parts are going wrong, and you've got to work on those bits, okay? Because what I want is when the child is on stage, is no matter what happens, they aren't going to stop. And again, you are going to have to up your games, you're going to have to up your rewards. This is hard work. But what you want at the end of the day is the life skill of knowing how to get something from I can do it if I'm thinking about it, to I can do it with my eyes shut, hanging off, you know, the monkey bars in the park. Okay, that's how that's how your child is going to learn. I can do anything that I put my mind to. I just need to work hard enough to do it. Okay, and the first time this happens, especially if your student or your child is really, really nervous on stage, the first time that this happens and you really, really go through that process, it might be a struggle if they've been nervous before, right? So then you need to work on your lots of encouragement, lots of specific praise. But once they've done it, once they've been up there and it's gone really, really well, they're going to get that huge rush of adrenaline, right? And once they've done it 2 or 3 times and it's gone really, really well, that's when they're going to really start enjoying the roller coaster of being on stage. And that's what we really, really want. Okay, is that going up there and being in a position of performance is going to set off a rush of adrenaline rather than a fear response. Okay, because that's how we build adults who are going to be able to go into any situation and own it. Okay, so think about the long-term life lesson that you're teaching here, and your practice will start to get a little better. So Yinin, you're asking if the same applies to the audition preparation, and I would agree with exam preparation. Yes. So for my students, we take a whole year to prepare for an exam, for say an ABR or same exam, because when they go into the exam, I want them to know those pieces so well that they feel like review pieces. Same thing for your audition. You want to be picking pieces for your audition that you already know really well. Now look, you have to go with your teacher's advice, because it may be a case of, okay, well, yes, the pieces that you know really well are not going to get you the result that you need in your audition, right? But what I wouldn't be doing is arguing with your teacher about trying to play something harder if they're trying to convince you to play something easier. Does that make sense? Right? You have to understand the logic that if your teacher is asking you to play something that you think is too easy, what they're trying to do is help your child put their best foot forward. Now, if you are practicing something that is harder, okay, that is going to be a little stretch for you, you're going to need a lot of repetitions, and you're going to need a lot of, just before the audition or the exam, playthroughs to try and get that muscle memory up into sync. So yeah, it does apply the same way. I would, for sure. Does that answer your question, Yini? Are there any other questions? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, so if there aren't any other questions about that, or if you're watching this on the replay, or if you are watching now and you have other questions later, let me know. So if you're on the course, we're going to be diving into this more deeply tomorrow in our clinic. And if anybody here is interested in the course, we have some spaces opening now, but we're also going to have some spaces opening in January. So if you are interested and you just want some more information, you want to have a little chat with me to see if it's right for you, get in touch. We're going to be talking about stress regulation. We're going to be working on how to really get the experience of learning an instrument together as a really positive and fun time. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. If you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay. If you're watching me tonight, thank you so much for joining me. It's really fun to see that we've had, you know, from New Zealand and from England and all over the world, and I'm really looking forward to speaking to you again next week. Let me know if there are any particular things you want to hear about. I'm always open to suggestions. Yep. And yeah, see you guys next week. Same time, same place.